Hello, fans, and welcome to VMI We're here with women's soccer head coach Brian Williams as the team prepares to start the season on Friday, August 17th against USC Upstate. And, Coach, with Upstate coming in on Friday, you brought in a large freshman class again this season. Discuss what you've seen out of them so far.
Well, it's a great group, off the get-go, Brad. And, when we look at, the teams that we've brought in, I think last year's group was a very solid group. Gave us an uplift of numbers, and now we've repeated with that 8 number for the second year. We've got some very strong kids within the group that have already proven to be immediate starters for us and gotten on the field in our 2 exhibitions to open up, including in goal and on the back line and midfield. So I'm really pleased with what we're already seeing from this group. It's already having an impact with us.
Let's start the positional analysis with what might be the biggest question of the year. Who's going to play up front for this year's Keydets?
Oh, I think, we will watch and see as the season unfolds, and that may be something that as we get into it, it becomes a more consistent situation. Certainly, Christelle Denongo is starting out up top, and is working hard. We're taking advantage of her speed up there, right off the mark. Simone Jimenez certainly coming in to us here last weekend from an internship in New York, jumping back in, and certainly will work up top in some place, either attack midfield or forward at times. But we also have other individuals like Liz Affronti, who I think can do a very good job for us up there as well, as far as those players that are returning. The freshmen coming in, I think that opens up some other potential spots. Meredith Baldassare comes to us from Williamsburg. She's played outside, the outside midfield player, and has at times shifted up top. Was very successful for her high school and her club as a goal scorer. So we hope that as she transitions, she can work herself into that. Going back to upperclassmen, I think Ali Segura, who's having a very good start this year after struggling her freshman year, really adds something that we might see Ali into the mix. She's a very smart player, a schemer, and I think that's going to be something that's going to be beneficial to us this year.
Well, fans, you may even be able to hear in the background Patchen Field being prepared for Friday's opener. And as we continue the discussion here, Coach, you mentioned Simone Jimenez, certainly a team leader, one of the stalwarts in the midfield the majority of the time. Who else can we see in the midfield this year?
Well, I think, again, with this recruiting class coming in, we've picked up a number of additional midfielders which will help us. I certainly see returning players. I see Erica Putney probably stepping forward from the back line and helping us as an outside mid. Erica did very well in the spring for us in that role, and I think that was a good transition for her. So we'll see how that goes for her as well. Taylor Armstrong, another senior, has stepped in, done well off the get-go, I have high hopes that, again, her experience over 3 years with us will help her there too. Again, Ali Segura being an attack midfield or defensive midfield role, again, playing very well and really settling us down in a very good way. Other players coming in, Courtney Mason, a freshman out of Maryland, has done a great job. Has come in and we put her on the field right away, and she's handled the ball and everything else for us well. Obviously, Liz Affronti is back and playing on that left side. We look forward to Liz having a great year also. A couple other names to mention. Certainly Killian Buckley stepped in last year at the end of the season and performed very well in the midfield for us. Always a worker, doing very well. And then a couple of the other freshmen I think will certainly step in and have an impact there. Erica Boggs be it both in midfield and defense. If we can keep her healthy and moving, I think will be of great support for us. Wow. So.
Again, we are live here just above Patch and Field, and Coach, continuing on with that positional analysis. The back line, of course, expected to be led by team co-captain Casey Hall. Who do you expect to be back there with Casey?
Well, I think Casey gives us some flexibility of moving her in and out, and maybe sliding her up into the midfield, but being able to pivot her back with her experience last year on the back line, anchoring us at sweeper. But I really think Casey's play will be balanced by Bridget Poulette, freshman coming in. Has already done very well for us back there, playing a center back with Casey in a flat 4. But again, we can potentially adjust to 3 players in the back line as well. Sarah Putney on the outside again returns for her second year. Did a very good job last year. Did well in the spring, and again has done well this year. She's been very, very solid for us. That outside left back is a position that's been tough for us. Erica Putney slid into that first two matches. We see potentially Erica Boggs sliding back there as we adapt and figure this out overall. And obviously, again, defensively, as you mentioned before, Simone can slide back either into a defensive midfield role or potentially inside as well, pushing a player outside. So we hope that we get this right this year and can keep everybody healthy, and again get back to having a strong core group that, for the most part, if you look at some of those names, besides the first-classmen, will be around for the next 2-3 years, and we look forward to that.
I know in goal, the freshman Mackenzie Harmon has impressed in the 2 exhibitions. Can you discuss your goalkeeping situation?
Well, it's nice this year. We have 3 goalkeepers in, which is a big change over last year, getting down to Amanda Barrios, really. And this year we've got Kirsten Hancock back as a 3rd. Suffered an early concussion and is riding through that right now, but has done well in preseason. We just have to get her back whole and healthy. And then Sarah McGinnis comes in from the beach to push the front 2 and give us more depth in the position. Really like what Mackenzie's doing, coming in as a rat with her ability, her hands, and her experience from Wisconsin. Her club team, her high school team, did very well at the end of the season. Not that long ago, going back to June. So she's just making that step across the line into college, and right off the bat we're putting her to great use. She also did well with her club team, and again a very bright young lady who we look forward to having for the next 4 years.
On the schedule this year, Coach, a lot of familiar faces, but one interesting change is the Longwood Lancers coming in as a conference opponent. Discuss them joining the Big South, if you would.
Well, as everybody's watched us over time, Longwood's always been on our schedule, and we've always played them. And starting out when I first came in, it was pretty much a one-dimensional game with them dominating us. And then over the last few years, again going back to that group 4 or 5 years ago, we started to even up against them, even tying them here. And we've been down to them the last couple of years, but one of those was a very tight matchup, including this past fall. We played them very tight here. Now we get to go back over to their place. The difference is now we get to play them in season versus early in season, where we're still building and trying to figure things out, and they have generally been more on the top of their game. Longwood getting the opportunity to come into the Big South now really gives them a reason to play into the season or into the postseason, because that really hasn't been availed to them. And I think they become very dangerous because of that, where they tailed off the last, 6, 7, 8 years at the end of a season. Now their young ladies have something really to play for. And I think they're going to be in the conference mix. I always like our chances against them. It's a great rivalry, if you will, between us. A lot of our players know their players, including the current Rats coming in who have friends over there. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, having them in conference and as a close opponent, it's not a bad transition from here over to Farmville, thankfully.
All right, Coach, we look forward to seeing that match and the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Look forward to it.